we are going to be talking about the new Criollo that was released. Also, I apologize for the terrible audio, my absence, and the awful fan in the background. Can't fix any of that, so really quick note, where have I been? Struggling. None of your business. Anyway, so now that I've returned, let's talk about the Criollo. So the Criollo, um, is a breed that I really appreciate in this game because it is a very interesting breed historically. Now, I don't know everything there is to know about Criollos, but I know enough to get me by. So, the Criollo is a breed that was brought over by the Spanish. They're very heavily influenced by other Spanish breeds, and they're very prominent through South America. They were used a lot by cowboys and stuff for cow herding, and um, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it was before the name Criollo stuck or after, but around the 1500s when they were brought to South America, they were used by the tribes people a lot. So they have a very deep rooted history in South America, specifically in like Venezuela and Argentina and countries such as that. So, um, the thing that I appreciate most about these guys is when you look at their gaits, they do. They have that long, loose amble to them. Um, they just they move super fluently. Um, they just roll when they move, if that makes any sense. Like, look at this canter. It has just a rolling, very loose, very, very beautiful movement to it. And I appreciate that they did stick to the accuracy. Now, there's one thing that attracted me to this breed um, that I really found interesting. Not so much all the fancy colors, because yes, Criollos do come in all kinds of crazy colors. That tends to happen with horses, like feral horses in the Americas. For some reason, they just decide to become the craziest colors ever. I know I personally did not buy one of the crazy color ones. But yeah, so what I appreciate is that they are gated. Um, I looked into this because I was unsure about the nature of them being gated. Star Stable has a very bad habit, the Tennessee Walker, of taking horses that are gated, the Pasofino, and making them trot even though they don't trot. Um, Walking horses do not trot. They can, but if they do, you ruin their gait. Pasofinos can be taught to trot, but you ruin the whole horse if you do it. So, to include trotting on horses that technically can do it but shouldn't made me mad beyond all recognition. I do not recognize the Paso or the Walking Horse as genuine breeds in this game. The ones in Star Stable are terrible off-brands. It's the Faso Pino and the Walking Southern Horse. Okay, so they're not real. So, but this one and the Saddlebred are really good examples of where Star Stable strives. Horses that still do trot and can be gated. Because then, Star Stable's absolute mind-numbing inability to research horses doesn't seem as mind-numbingly stupid. Because if you have a horse that is sometimes gated, you justify Star Stable's absolute addiction to make every single horse that they come into contact with trot. So, it doesn't make Star Stable look as bad. To say, yes, some of them trot, however, some of them are gated, the fact that that's real completely satisfies me. It's like, okay, you're right. Some of them do trot, some of them are gated. So now it's the player's choice whether their Criollo is a trotting horse or is a gated horse. And I do appreciate that. So I cannot dock Star Stable points for that. In fact, I give them credit for doing the research and discovering that they're gated in the first place. However, because it's Star Stable, and Star Stable has a very nasty habit of simply pandering to the gate, or pandering to the dressage community and giving, every single horse a trot and trying to charge the most they can for horses. I don't know if they found out that the Criollo can trot because it's a cool factoid, or if they found out they could, if they're semi-gated, so they could simply add another gate to it to justify a super ridiculous price. These horses are 950 star coins for the fact that they are semi-gated and they can spin in a circle. I I think that, it's fine that they charge that amount. I know people like horses in this game that can do all kinds of fancy stuff. I get it. It's fine. Um, I just don't know what the motive was for them to do all that. Personally, if we want to also talk about the state of Star Stable in this video, I believe it would make sense to do so. And I do feel like, again, this is no bash on the Criollo. If I had to rate this horse and give it a genuine horseman review, I'd say this horse is pretty solid. I'd say this is one that, if I have it in my stable and I'm not mad about it. It's not one that I look at and I'm like, dang, you should have been this, so I have no qualms with this horse. This one, the movements are absolutely beautiful. It's just a beautiful animal. Like that's perfect for photos. Like they made this horse very photogenic. See, like that, like they made it a very photogenic animal. Absolutely. They knew what they were doing. Now, in that same token, however, I believe that this horse was a little bit of a cash grab because of all the stuff they added to it. I feel like Star Stable, I don't know how they're doing financially. However, I do know that they weren't doing good. I feel like them throwing out all these Star Coin packages and, you know, pushing out this horse in particular, I feel like they're just trying to do whatever they can to get some money. I've noticed in the list of horses for this year, it's very long, the list of horses that's going to come out in 2025. Granted, they are listening to their audience. Mules will be coming out, and honestly, I am so excited for mules. You have no idea. I'm probably gonna just buy all of them, like I did the saddlebreds. Complete my collection, But with that in mind, I feel like they're trying to push whatever marketable things they can in order to boost that income of theirs. Granted, they are really listening to the audience. Like when they added the gray Frisian, as well as the Dun and the Appaloosa, they made sure to mention that they are Frisian sport horses. And, they listen to their community because of all the backlash from the Jorvik Frisian. So they are listening. Even if they're not listening well, they are listening better than they were in the past. And I'm going to sit here for a second and give Star Stable credit for that. Beginning to listen to your audience is good. They will see an uptick in viewership in players if they continue to do that. So, if I do have any words for Star Stable, anything to keep the players engaged and to keep this game that I absolutely love afloat for as long as I can possibly have an influence over it, add more quests. Honestly, even the daily XP from Starshine Ranch is enough to keep some people coming back every day. Just something to keep players interested. Like all of the unlocking things in Hollow Woods, do something like that for something else. Have what are some other things that Star Stable's added? The dinosaur skeletons. Redo Dino Valley. Do something with the dino skeletons. Have some kind of unlocking skill. Like you could unlock skeletons or even be able to build them. Like I'd love to see, they have like the small dinosaur, they have the mysterious dinosaur, like the two-headed dinosaur. show me what those would look like, you know, and give us a reason to come back to mine, to explore, you know, add more stars. And if you don't add more stars, like add more little hidden quests. And I know that's a lot of work, you know, to redo an entire area, all that. But just by redoing a simple area and bringing attention to it, and even if you have quests such as the one in Hollow Woods where it takes so long to grind for, it doesn't matter. It's still something that brings attraction to the game. Literally anything at this point. Because while the Criollo is a very good, well done horse, I genuinely have nothing bad to say about it, and I typically don't make videos about horses that I don't have anything to say about. Normally I try and make videos about the controversial ones. Notice I didn't make a video about the Norker. I didn't make a video about what else? Like the Jorvik Frisian, or sorry, I did make a video about that one. I didn't make a video about, you know, the new Frisian, things like that, because they're genuinely not problematic. Videos that don't have a point don't get views, and you know, there's no point for me to share my opinion, to be like, yeah, it's fine, like, so what, you know, no one cares. Everyone wants the juicy. I see my videos, I see my view count, I know. With that in mind, the reason I'm making a video about this horse is, first of all, to establish that I'm not dead, but also to say that I genuinely don't think the Criollo got as much traction as a few of the other breeds. And I don't think it's because it's not deserving of it. I think it's because there's nothing to do in the game. And time again, Star Stable has added pretty ponies without anything else. And, you know, pretty ponies are cool and all, but they can't support the weight of an entire game on their shoulders. They just can't. Star Stable's done that before. They've added no new updates for a long time and then threw some pretty horses at us and said, all right, you're gonna play with this now and be happy, right? And a lot of people were. So that approach works, but only for so long. And I believe that that has overstayed its welcome. People now are like, no, I don't, I actually want to see something new. So, I have mixed feelings. On one hand, the Criollo is very well done. I don't have really much bad to say about it. I think that the best horses that Star Stable has ever made in this game is the quarter horse is the number one, the saddlebred is number two, and honestly, I might even have to put this one at number 3, because I genuinely can't find much wrong with it. I'm sure that someone who knows more about Criollos than I do could probably find something. But yeah, I think that genuinely Star Stable needs to stop pushing out these horses and to just listen to their audience. Excuse me. Leaving that in because I'm too lazy to edit it out. Alright, well. I completely forget how to end videos. So, this has been Clarice. Hopefully you all see me again. And, yeah, get yourself a Criollo.